With my client's intended goals of increasing his strength and working toward muscle hypertrophy, the best work to rest ratio for enhancing his anaerobic glycolysis is 1 to 3. This would be best for my client because he is still trying to increase his tolerance to lactate while adhering to a scheme of 3 sets of 10. With the extended rest intervals, my client can appropriately recover in between sets while carrying over the fatigue into later rounds and depleting lactate from his muscles accordingly. Lastly, this is the safest way for my client to train, being that we can still get quality reps in with the extended break, and being that my client is still a novice, he is still learning how to accurately gauge his fatigue levels. In order to improve my client's 40-meter dash, I would program repeated sprint intervals to ensure that we are using the ATP-PC system. Being that this system is involved in short bursts of energy lasting only seconds, it would be very important to condition my client in becoming comfortable with doing short bursts of exercise. I would also incorporate more power-driven exercises geared toward using the same energy system, intending to increase my client's ability to generate power in the shortest amount of time. Lastly, I would also incorporate technique associated with sprint mechanics to ensure we can complete the 40-yard dash in the shortest amount of time. Trying to elicit an EPOC response to my client's training program would include a combination of explosive exercises to primarily target the ATP-PC system, lasting only seconds before transitioning to the anaerobic system, where we would primarily focus on strength training for hypertrophy, and lastly, incorporating exercises to stimulate his aerobic system, further increasing his heart rate and oxygen demand. Throughout this session, I would program repeated bouts of box jumps coupled with rotational med ball slams and using agility drills as well. These exercises lasting only seconds would increase his heart rate, thus increase his need for oxygen and stimulate his ATP-PC system. From here, I would transition to using strength training coupled with cardiovascular exercise to ensure his heart rate is elevated, increasing his demand for oxygen. I would keep the exercises simple, such as push, pull, or squat exercises, coupled with jump roping, alternating foot taps, step-ups, and the bike. Lastly, as for rest, I would use the 1 to 6 rest ratio for the first circuit focused on explosiveness, then transition to 1 to 3 when targeting the aerobic and anaerobic energy systems. This can progressively allow my client's session to flow while still demanding for an increase in oxygen throughout his session.